I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTeeV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have educator and community activist Mike Miller, aka Coach Miller of the Alief Clovers. How you doing today, Coach?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Glad to be in the building, man. Glad to be on your show. Been watching you for a minute, so I'm glad to be in, man. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for taking a few minutes. Like I say, when you think about doing stuff for the community and what represents Alief, you look at the Clovers right there, man, and you know it's deep in the community, man. So I appreciate you for taking a few minutes out, man.
No problem, man. We 10 years strong in this thing. Man.
Yes, sir. Man, how have you been doing, man, since the pandemic? And how have you been staying safe?
Well, for me, I mean, it's simple. I'm a health guru, so being healthy is not really a challenge. It's something I enjoy. So for me, I just was able to focus more on healthy things for my body. Plant-based and other things such as algae and stuff like that. Just put it in the body. So it hasn't been that bad for me as far as health-wise. But just affected by people around me, stuff like that. That's the only downside of everything. But other than that, can't complain, man. Can't complain.
Yes, sir. I know. Yes, sir. And then as we get ready to head back,
yeah,
it's getting real. So that health,
a couple weeks,
and that immune boosters and all that is gonna really come in, man. And I know you at the high school, so it may be a little different, but I got them elementary, man. I'm gonna be running around grabbing them and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm at the house with my kids, so I imagine, y'all getting back. I mean, I'm at home working with my kids, on their Zoom stuff, and I'm looking at their teachers in school already in some districts. They're in school already while they're teaching Zoom, so it's going to be crazy because, we're probably going to have to do the same thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, as we look to get into the interview, man, can you give everybody a little bit of background about you and also the connection to the Alief community?
Okay, well, Mike Miller, I'm from Alief. I'm an Alief baby. I'm an Alief kid, man. I grew up in Alief, and this is where I was raised at. Went to Alief Middle School, graduated from Hastings in 2001. When I left from Alief, I went to Prairie View A&M and ran track there and earned a full scholarship running track at Prairie View. And that's when I learned a lot of things. I got my bachelor's degree. I got my master's degree. I joined a fraternity called Phi Beta Sigma. They taught me a lot of things about the community. So a lot of things that I learned, there, I was able to bring it back. And I always had a good heart. So a lot of stuff just in college, the dots started to connect and formed me into the man that I am today. Came back home, started teaching in 2007, actually. And when I came back home, my plan was to be an administrator. I have a master's degree in education administration. I was going to be following footsteps as my big brother, my mentor, Mr. Tremaine Wycliffe. And after 2 years of teaching, my students were dying. Stuff like that. So I really just went a new way and started creating programs within this, and then that's why Alief Clovers. It came about after I created an athletic program at my alternative school, and then 10 years later, you see what you see now: kids getting scholarships left and right. I'll let you know about that more into what we got going on, but that's just a little further. Man, 10 years in this thing.
10 years, man. And so, as you get down to that PV, man, and you coming from the Leaf, it's so many things to do, especially when you got that scholarship. You can look, let me go to this degree, but you brought it back to education, man. So what made you go ahead and choose that field, and how does it feel just to impact the community from which you came?
Well, for me, I didn't know what I was going to be when I went to college. Like, sports is what carried me into education. I was one of those, I'm a hood baby. I'm from the community, baby. So for me, it was just all about, I got to get a scholarship and stuff like that. I didn't have a father around, so I didn't have that mentorship of knowing how important education was. So sports was my ticket, and I took that ticket. And once I got to college, by my junior year, my coach was mentoring me, and he started really telling me. Well, he asked me a question. He said, "What are you gonna do uh, after you graduate?" I say, "You see the times I'm running? I'm going to go pro. And that's it." He was like, "Well, that's true. You're gonna get the opportunity to run professional sports at one point, but you can't do that forever." And I looked at him. I was like, "Yeah, okay, coach, what you talking about?" He's like, "Well, you're gonna be a junior next year. After that, you're gonna graduate. What you want to do?" And I was like, "As long as it's dealing with sports, I don't care. As long as it's dealing with sports." So he put me in a program called the NYSP program, the National Youth Sports Program. And that summer, I worked with the kids that was in the community around Prairie View. And I went to work like this, cool little clothes on, some Jordan shorts, some Jordan shoes, Air Max, whatever. But every day I went there, it was more like a big brother, big sister, like thing like that. It didn't even feel like a class, even though it was set up like a classroom structure. But I didn't feel like it. So when I came back the next summer, and after that, I said, "Coach, put me in the education field." And that's when I got my knees and started studying as a physical education teacher. And that's how I became a teacher. Now coming back was amazing. Coming back was amazing. I started out as a substitute teacher while I was studying for my content at the alternative school, and it was amazing being able to connect. But I had to get rough. I had to get dirty with it. After schools, I was in the community. I'm in the worst apartment you can find. I'm like, you're gonna see your coach just as much as you see everything else around you. So that's how I started doing it, and people remember me from back in the day when I was growing up. So it made it easy for me to be able to maneuver how I wanted to. But I knew that I could do that. So I'm like, I'm going to use that for positivity. I'm going to use it to try to pull somebody out, pull some kids out. Let the older cats know what these young cats can be in the future. So I need your access. I need your blessing to be able to go in the worst parts of Alief. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I've been able to make a change in my community, man, our community.
And you think about that, man, in coaching, man. When I was in College Station, man, I coached football, but I also coached track for shot put and discus, man, on them throwers. And dude, the classroom made an impact because I was a behavior teacher. But it was something about that credibility, man, of being on that field where I could really just touch boys, man, and really just reach out to them and they'll listen more than they would just if I was just coming out that classroom, man. So I commend you on that, man, for making that difference and choosing to come back to that Leaf, man. I know you wouldn't have it no other way, but I still commend you, brother.
And I was excited when the opportunity even jumped out at me, and I was working in a warehouse. To be honest, right out of college, I worked in a warehouse, and it just hit me one day in the warehouse.
This episode is being brought to you by Daryl Anderson and the Anderson Lux Living Group. Daryl is determined to provide the best service for his clients in all aspects. He works with buyers and sellers in all price points and is a top negotiator that will help his clients get the upper hand in every deal. He also works with attorneys, lenders, and inspectors to create a dream experience for all clients. Luxury living defined by you. For all of your real estate needs, contact Daryl Anderson indeed.
And I called my guy, and he was like, "Listen, he's a substitute teacher right now." And I got in and worked hard, and then climbed up, studied for those. And it took me 3 times to pass my content, and it took me 2 times to pass the PPR, but I stuck in.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, brother. That's it. And so, man, I know you in the Alief store now, man, and I did a podcast. Man, shout out to the Alief store, dude. I'm on like number 75 I'll be dropping this week. Man, and
I saw that.
Them boys showed up when I was way down number 20 and 15, man. So shout out to them boys at the Alief store, man. So I know he from the league too. So did y'all collaborate ways since school, or how did that go?
So this is how it happened. Most of the students, so a lot of the high school students, this is funny. Some of those kids were babies, when I was in high school, right? So when I became a high school teacher, a lot of the different kids that was coming to the alternative school, I knew them. I knew their brother and stuff like that. So me, I just, the big brother role just naturally came. So once I started doing the big brother role, they started introducing me to other kids. So I got introduced to Billy. when I got introduced to him, he had a studio at the time, but he was like the leader of his little boy, his homeboys and his friends, and he was always positive. He was always trying to get them to do something amazing, and I was trying to get them to do better. And I liked it. I loved the energy, and I was like, I'm gonna stay around him to help him get where he need to be at. So when we was in the studio, I would get off of work and I would go to the studio, like knowing I got to be able to work in the morning. But I'm like, I know I got to build this relationship. I know I got to be around. And every day, like I would tell her, like, I don't know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be, and then he started out with a small little store. I'm talking about like small with 3 T-shirts, and it was on Cook Road in Beechnut. And I went over there one day, and I saw what he was starting, and I was like, dude, this is it. Like, this is it. People like want to wear nice things. They don't want to wear derogatory things anymore. They don't want to. People want to wear positive things on their shirt, their community and stuff like that. Stuff my grandma would wear. And so he just kept going. He was like, man, I love fashion, and then boom, he just let it all out into that, and then boom, he moved into a bigger location, and then boom, he came back into the community, and then it just kept going. And what happened was my boss noticed the clothes I was wearing, and he was like, man, that's some good quality of clothes. Like, you keep wearing different stuff every day. And I'm like, man, I'm telling you, man, this kid, he graduated from LC. So Mr. Wycliffe brought him in. He was like, look, man, I'm gonna show your stuff to D Jones, and D Jones got him in, and then now he's the Alief partner. You know what I'm saying? He's the Alief partner now. That's how deep it is. Like, that's how it's and it's amazing. I'm just looking at stuff around the store, and it's big. I call him my Alief Nipsey, man. Like, I call him Alief Nipsey. I went to California with him probably about 2 months ago, and we drove by Nipsey's place, and the way it's designed just like that.
So now, when we think about the teams, I know you gave me the backstory on the Clovers, but how many, like, is it just track, or do y'all have other sports under the umbrella? And what kind of success have you seen in the 10 years that make it? Because I know, like, around year 1, year 2, you say, man, it's rough spending money, but then here we are 10 years later, man. So what made you stick with it, man? And what kind of success have you seen for the kids?
Oh man! So under the umbrella, first off, we have 2 sports programs now to this: basketball and track and field. Amazing programs. Very difficult in the beginning. You know how you have the rough stages of the program, but we stuck with it. We was one of the teams who used to get ran up out the gym, lose by 40, stuff like that. But we stuck with it. I'm really good friends with Mike James from Rockets. We was able to go to his house when he was actually training for the Dallas Mavericks, and his trainer was the trainer who trained Kobe Bryant. And he was a black guy out in spring, and he saw us at Mike James' house for 2 weeks during a Christmas break. And he found out what we was doing. He was like, listen, y'all guys can take this stuff, So we took it. We took a lot of the training, and we brought it back to our lab. And a lot of our kids was developing quick. We were doing NBA workouts, NBA developments. And the way we connect with the kids, it's all one. They buy into the program, and once they do that, it'd be a kid under the radar who will end up becoming a star in summer basketball within a couple months. And before you knew it, we started getting kids full basketball scholarships. We stopped going to the small backyard tournaments, and we gave it a shot at the really big NCAA approved tournaments. And we were competing against shoe Nike teams, Adidas teams. If we didn't win, we were in a dogfight. And people started asking questions. And the biggest one that I can remember was we actually played against Rashard Lewis' team, and we beat them by 3 in their own tournament. That knocked them out their tournament, and their own scout got up and recruited one of our players. And it's been really big. But this year is our first ever to have any kids running track in college. This past summer during the quarantine, we still was able to get our seniors out. We got a kid at East Baptist Texas University, and then we have a kid at Florida Memorial. Yes, so and we got them. We got them out there, man.
Come on, man. I love it, man. That is awesome, brother. Because man, kids need something, man. Like they
Yeah.
need something, man. What this after? Because like for me, man, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, and brother, I tell you, if I did not have the Volunteers of America Lighthouse in my life, man, I'd be dead in jail right now. And that's just the real, you know. And so man, I appreciate that for what you're doing. The stick with it that you got, man, and just keep on loving on them boys and growing them, man. I guarantee you, the sky's the limit, man.
Oh, it's I've already seen the everything else now to me is really extra. You know, I've made it statistically. I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. I
Yeah.
understand that. My mother got in a car accident when I was 4, so she was paralyzed from the waist down. I don't remember what my mom looks like when she walked. I did that. Dad went around that type of stuff.
Hmm.
So the next thing I know, I'm statistically not,
Yes, sir. Yes,
but I
sir.
made it. I made it.
Yeah, and the thing is, we got to
I
go
made it.
get other
And
people.
and that's what I bring, and that's what I bring to them. I let them know, like, bro, I've been through the worst type of situations, so y'all can do it too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and that's how I be, man. With my boys club, our first lesson of the year is: do you plan to live until you're 21? And if so, what are you doing? But I have to bring that realness in because I gotta let you know this is what I seen, and I can't let y'all do that. So we have them hard conversations, man. So I understand totally. So now, as we talk about the influence on the kids, brother, I'm seeing this sea moss, I'm seeing this NutriBurst, I'm seeing it all, man. Look, so now as you take that, man, dude, I was like, man, I wonder if I take some of that, will I be able to run like Coach? I was
Yeah, I
like,
mean, I'm actually running like 7:24 for each mile with just 4 miles straight.
yeah,
Like I'm doing that, but I compete. I compete on the USA Master Team.
okay,
I still compete. Yeah, so I was supposed to be in Canada last summer, but the pandemic.
hmm,
So I'm waiting for the next championship. I'm taking all gold, man. But basically, what happened for me was, man, I've been heard about Dr. JBC Moss. I always blew it off. I blew it off a lot, and then I had surgery, and then after the surgery, my inflammation was so bad, I was still having the same pains. I couldn't run. I was getting very depressed. I feel like I ain't gonna be able to compete again, run again. I'm a PE teacher. I'm gonna be able to, do what I'm supposed to do. And before you know it, one day I was just in the garage sitting down, and the sea moss came up again, and so I researched it. I took about 6 hours. I sat there, and then I found someone who had it. And then after 2 weeks, I was able to run again. And then people who knew my story was like, "Then you just had surgery?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, but I've been taking this CMOS stuff, and then like I ain't got no more pains." Even my doctor was like, "You're not supposed to be running till like after the summer." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not in pain. The inflammation pills you was giving me not working. I was tripping. I was chewing them. It was not working." But that with the sea moss has been amazing. The NutriBurst is a multivitamin that's been amazing for me. I detox a lot with the TLC tea. It works well, and I'm a firm believer in everything that I take. That's why I do it every day on my social media so everybody can see, what am I doing, and it's not a secret, man. It's
yes,
just for
sir.
anybody. You can always hit me up and get it. I got it on deck. I
Yeah.
keep it.
And
Yes,
then
sir.
how
Oh man, so a lot of the youngsters, it's really kind of easy because when they look at me, they want to be like me, yeah, or they, a lot of them when they find out how old I am, I'm finna be 38, and they're like, "Coach, you finna be 38, and you're able to do this and do that," or they see the people I'm able to hang around, and I'm like, I get to be around the same people and still being positive. I don't have to change up who I am. I get to be myself, and people still gonna accept who you are. You don't have to. So that's how that influence has been big on me. And what I try to do is I try to get to them to where they will tell me, like, Coach, this is what I want to do. The quicker you can tell me what you want to do, the quicker I can try to help you and figure out an avenue or somebody who knows that avenue to get you to where you want to be at. So I just let them know, man. They just got to really buy into it. Once they buy into it, man, I haven't had a kid who's been a failure
That's it, brother. And as we close it out, man, as a veteran educator, as an impact in the community, man, we about to face some challenges heading forward. So if we got some educators, man, what kind of words of wisdom as a veteran would you give them boys or ladies as we get ready to come back and get this thing rolling again in the Leaf?
Man, just be ready for the challenge. This challenge has never been done before, and teachers are always called to do amazing things. If that's always been like that, and this is why we chose the job. We chose the job to deal with these type of things, and I'm ready. I'm ready. I hope you guys are ready, man. Lean on your colleagues, lean on your principals, lean on everybody who you know who's going to motivate you and got your back, and it's gonna be amazing because like in my school, like we all lean on each other, we all work with each other, like so it's our system, like so it's a great machine. So just be so teachers, young teachers, old teachers, man, just be ready to make a great impact on what's been going on. We finna do a great job, teachers. We finna do a good job.
And speaking of that, man, shout out to Mr. Tremaine, man. I ran into him, I know, on a few occasions, but the one that we spent a lot of time was he did my Covey training one day, man. And it just was so good to me, man, just to see somebody, because I'm assistant principal, but when you think about the leaders, man, it was so good to just see somebody who was just real, man. Who I say, yeah,
That
man.
guy, that guy, man. So when I was 16, I met him when I was 16 years old. That's a big bro. That's a big bro. When I was 16, he told me, he was like, you're a leader. You can do a lot more with your life. So every year after high school, I would come back and see him and tell him about my year in college and this and that. And my senior year, I was coming back and telling him, big bro, I'm going to graduate college. And he said, you know what? I seen you mature. If you ever want to try teaching, give me a call. And that's when I told you the story. I was in the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner was talking to, well, not even the owner, the manager who just been on the job for like 25 years with no education. He was talking to me very disrespectful. So before I was going to lose my mind, I was like, man, I have a college degree. Like, what is? And it just hit me. Call Wycliffe. Call Wycliffe, man. This is what's going on. He's like, listen, he's a long-term substitute teacher. Come on in here. Let's get it done. You're from this community. I know you can do great things and make an impact. You're from here. You know everything that's going on. We're at an alternative school. Like, you know what to do. As soon as I went in, it was impacting on site.
That's it, bro. Come on, man. Slowly but surely. So then, if I want CMOS, if I'm a parent and I want to look at getting my kid into the Clovers, how do I get in contact with you, man?
Okay, so listen, guys, girls, parents, grandmas, listen. I offer health products, CMOS, NutriBurst, ISO-T. I offer workouts Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. on West Park and Highway 6 at the Hill. We work out. This is just not for elite people. This is for anybody who wants to get it in. Okay? If you have a kid who wants to run track, play basketball, and I'm starting a baseball team next spring. If you want to get your kid in, start at the age of 6. The earlier you start them right now, the quicker and the better chances they will have to become a student athlete. Okay, you got to give. This is all about giving them a chance. You can hit me at Mike Marley on Instagram. You can hit me at Mike Miller on Facebook. Anytime, give me a call. Yeah, DM me, Mike Marley 4. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, KT. I appreciate it, man. It's all about it. Hey, it's all about exposure. And when people get exposed to different things, that's when they can make changes in their life. I've learned that with myself, So I learned that through the kids, not through my experiences. I learned that mostly through the kids. Like, it's just all about what they're exposed to. So the quicker we can expose them to positive things, different life situations and lifestyles. My purpose is to give them that healthy, positive thinking lifestyle, living healthy and working out. That's what I bring to the table. We all bring different categories, and that's just my strength. So hit me up, Mike Marty 4, man. I got y'all.
Man, I appreciate that time today, Coach. Man, you dropped some jewels on us, and man, I can't wait to get this out to share it with the community, man. So we gonna make it happen quick, man.
And I appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. All right, this is KT for KTTeeV signing out. 100.